single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hello there, this is Steve at Dig Dug Gold, coming to you from my big semi. I don't know what else to say about it. It's my big truck. I'm sitting here at my little desk here in my big truck, recording the very next video in the sequence that we're calling Steve's Gold Money Notebook. Now, at the previous video, if you'll recall, we talked a little bit about the premise of the show, or of the channel here, and what we're going to be doing. My hope is that I can set a bunch of people free, including myself, but it requires a lot of us to kind of think out of the box, things that we haven't been trained to do ever before. And so that's what we're here to do. We're going to build a gold business, but it all starts with making a plan. See, I wouldn't go nowhere without my GPS, especially as a trucker. There's no way I would go anywhere to go pick up a load or drop a load unless I had my route and everything planned out on my trip. That's just how I am. That's what I was taught. And it's the same thing with building a business. You don't want to just open up a shop and say, hey, come see me, I'm ready. It doesn't work that way. You can't just open up your computer, hit the YouTube app, and all of a sudden it starts spitting out $20 and $100 bills and $50 bills and what have you. It doesn't work that way. And gold definitely doesn't work that way either. Gold is very labor intensive, it's very cash intensive, and if all you have is a shoestring budget, it makes it even more difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. So the more organized we are, and the more things that we can think through and think out ahead of time, then if we end up going out in the field and going and panning and sluicing and doing all the things that we like to do outdoors, it doesn't matter if we come back empty. Why? Because we made contingencies in our plan just in case that happened. So what am I talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is I have a notebook. Okay? In my notebook, I've planned out my business, and I continue to plan out. It doesn't ever stop. If I come up with an idea and it hits me while I'm driving, I can't just stop, of course, but when I can stop, then I'll put it in my notebook, and I'll think about it while I'm driving, and then write some notes out, that kind of thing, when I get stopped. And so that's just kind of how it is. That's how it has to work. And so one of the things that we have to do is that we need to get in that notebook, we need to develop some really common sense type, what I call 8 streams of income. One of those streams, of course, is gold prospecting, and gold mining. I kind of loop them both together. I'm not sure if I should or not, but that's what I do. Okay? So until I can actually get out and do prospecting and things like that, then I need to gain knowledge on how to prospect. So I put that in my notebook. Things that I need to be educated on, like this YouTube channel. Most people don't know that YouTube has a college, if you will, for creative artists. And one of the things that they suggest you do is go through it. I've been on YouTube for quite a while, looking at videos. I've tried to start several channels, but I never knew about the creative university to help creative people start their channels and what it's all about. We just all kind of think that, you know, we're going to figure it out. Well, that's not the best way to do it necessarily, and I think you would agree with that. I hope you would, that it's better to not have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. And so that's what we're going to do with our notebook. Hopefully you bought one or you had one around the house. I prefer that if you had one around the house, let's start with that, because the premise of our channel here is doing a goal business with $100. In order to scale up our business, we're going to have to take that $100 and increase it. And if we increase it by buying stuff, equipment, things like that, that we could actually find substitutes for or make ourselves, then we're going to blow through that $100 real quick, and we won't have anything show for it except a bunch of equipment that we can't use. Okay, so one of the things that we need to do is, first we need to talk about mindset. When we're starting a business, it's not like being an employee. When we own our own business, it's not being like an employee. See, as an employee, a lot of times we'll work for a salary, we'll work for hours, dollars per hours. Me in particular, if my wheels are spinning, I'm making money. I make 50 cents a mile. Okay, so my goal is to drive 2,000 to 3,000 miles a week. That's a lot of driving, but at the end it accumulates and snowballs, and I end up having a nice check. So that's kind of what we're looking at. How, for me in particular, I want this, what we're doing here, I want this to replace my truck driving, because I'm tired of being on the road to the point where I'm missing my family, that kind of thing, and I'm getting kind of older. I'm 56 now, and it's time for me to start making alternate plans for retirement. And so in order to do that, I've got to replace my income. For me in particular, I need to do $5,000 a month to replace my income. Okay? Not interested as far as whether you think that's good or bad or ugly. Okay? It's taken me a long time to get to that point. My main purpose here is to try and replace that, so my family doesn't have to suffer. I don't have to suffer for doing what I really want to do, which is the goal business. Okay? So I need you to think about it in those terms. Don't think about it as an hourly or as in salary or as in per mile, things like that. When you're doing your business, when you're doing your business, you need to look at the results, not what it cost you per hour or what you didn't make per hour. Because here at the beginning, you're not going to make a whole lot probably. Now, I've got some ideas that I've put down on paper that we're going to discuss with those, each streams of income, if you will, to kind of mitigate, if you will, or reduce the risk of coming up empty when we start panning and actually get out in the field. So in my mind, it's better from a financial standpoint to have some other things going on in the background feeding us, so that we can go out and hit the creeks and the streams and do mining and all that kind of stuff that we really, really want to do. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to be doing. In the next video, I'm going to start laying out the 8 things that I've personally identified that I can do without spending any cash, but still increase what I'm doing per month and maybe be able to retire off of here quickly. Okay? It's going to be interesting. I think you're going to like it. It's common sense, probably stuff you've never even thought about. Some of the stuff, I'll be honest with you, I learned here on YouTube. So I picked it up on YouTube. some of the things I just kind of used the old noggin here and worked it out. Now, I want to make sure that I give credit where credit's due for helping on this channel. Mr. Alan Robertson, thank you very much. He's my mentor, he's my good friend, and he has his own channel. And a lot of the stuff that we're going to be working with, that we create, comes from him. He built it first, he thought it out. He's gifted beyond belief with being able to tinker and put things together to accomplish goals. If you haven't seen his sluice box mat, silicone sluice box mats, they're incredible. Okay, we'll get into that kind of stuff later on. But go see Alan Robertson, and when you do, make sure you tell him that Steve sent you there. Okay, I talk to him occasionally here and there, once a week or so, and he's become a very trusted friend. Okay, there are others as well. Clash Guitars, Shane does a magnificent job at bringing the world in, a worldview of prospecting and gold. Vogus Prospecting, Chris, out in Australia. All right, if you want to learn how to prospect and you want to know the ins and the outs of reading landscape, Chris is your man. He's got it down. He's got it down to a science. And plus, I just love the way he talks too. There you go, Chris. And then we got Utah Avalanche, another guy that knows how to use tools. He makes some fantastic miller tables that are incredible. I learned how to do some urban prospecting from him and his grandson. And so we'll get into that down the road as well. So it's going to be fun. It really is. So anyway, if you like what you see, you like what you hear, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and come with us on a journey. Nothing would make me happier than to be able to set you free and set me free in the process as well. Okay. One of the things that you're going to need is of course $100 to start. So if you have a job, fantastic. Then you need to look at your expenses, lower your expenses, lower the things that you've got, stuff that's waste, where you're wasting your money at. Don't do that. Save it. Use it towards your business. Invest in your business. I don't know any business that doesn't have a pipeline of funds, especially when you start. I think the research says that in most businesses, and when I say most, I'm going to say probably 85% of businesses, maybe even as high as 95%, fail in the first 3 years. I know in my case, it's been that way. Okay, being undercapitalized. I've been a restaurant owner. I've owned several restaurants. I've owned several online businesses. And I just didn't have the capital to put into it. And as a result, I got worn out, beat up, and closed the doors. Did I make money? Yes. Did I make enough? No. Because it didn't reach what I was trying to do, which is to retire from the rat race in the world and do my own thing. Okay? And so that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to take this journey with us. If you've got something to offer, by all means, I'm all ears. I'm coachable. You can ask Alan. I'm not a know-it-all. Yes, I've been a banker. I've been a mortgage broker. I've been a realtor. I've been a women's shoe store salesman. Sold home appliances, that kind of thing. Built websites. Now I'm a YouTube entrepreneur. I've done affiliate marketing, referral marketing, just about any type of marketing you can think of. I've done. I've been worked on government stuff, been in politics. I've been all over the place. Done a lot of stuff. And so, giving back to the community. Taking people along for a ride, that type of thing, in a good sense, okay, is all what I'm about, okay? And so that's why I developed this channel, is to do that. And if you are a channel owner, and I'm kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm not real good with my hands, so that's why I go to Alan and to Utah Avalanche. to pick their brains a little bit here and there, and take some of the things that they've developed and use it in my stuff that I'm working with gold. Same with Shane. I've learned a tremendous amount from Shane. I went to Alabama Gold Camp a couple weeks ago. Shot a little bit of video there. Brought back a whole lot of dirt. Learned a ton, literally a ton of stuff about Alabama clay. Okay, so anyway, that's a story for another time. We'll get there. So anyway, if you haven't bought or you haven't found a notebook, I want you to go ahead and do that. Start listing how you're going to get to the $100 first to be able to use, because that's critical in the next video. We're going to take that $100 and I'm going to teach you how to flip it real fast. Okay, and it's pretty cool. And then if you aren't working and you're unemployed, but you can't or don't want to go work out in the world or get a job or something like that, that's nothing bad about that. I'm just saying, but you've got to be able to provide for yourself, and if you have obligations, of course you got to pay for them. You got to pay those obligations. Some of the things that I've got lined up for the next video, part of those 8 streams of income, I think are going to work real well for you, even if you're unemployed. So, but I need you to get $100, and you're not going to give it to me. You're going to keep it. Okay, so let's make that clear. You're not giving me any money. Okay, I'm just doing this because that's how I am. I'm a former preacher, and Alan kids me a little bit. He says, you're a twisted preacher then. I said, okay, sluice Matt King. So anyway, so get $100. If you have to go on, one of the things that I used to do, or that I did to start with a couple years ago when I started thinking about this stuff, is I went through all my closets, pulled everything out, took photographs of them with my phone, and then I put in Craigslist, I individually posted them on Craigslist, and within 5 to 10 minutes I had phone calls coming out the wazoo, and within an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I raised $450 just of the stuff that I had laying around that I wasn't using, that kind of thing. A lot of people think that eBay is a good thing for that. I don't. I think eBay's gone too commercial for that, to be able to do that personally. Okay, I don't think that that's the right form, but Craigslist still is, and I think you can sell a lot of stuff on Craigslist to get your $100 in. But I want you to get that $100, because, like I said, we're going to take that and we're going to flip it on the next video. Okay? All right. Well, I hope you had fun. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for stopping by the channel. If you like this, please hit the like button. This is all about likes and subscribers and shares and comments and all that kind of good stuff. We do have a Patreon account, but I haven't earned the right to ask you for that yet. So let's just go ahead and like and comment. It'll help me out tremendously, even if you don't like what you see here or what you're hearing, or you think I need to make some adjustments. I want to hear that too, believe me. Believe it or not, it's really constructive. It'll help me out as I start off with this YouTube channel. Okay, I'm doing the best I can, and that's all I ask of you, is that you do the best you can too. All right, thanks again, and we'll see you on the next video.